Hey everyone, it's Mojaxx back in the DJ City UK lab. Today reviewing the Reloop RMX-22i. This is a good example of a product that's become largely kind of invisible in the market in recent years. Beginners all want controllers and your pros either want Rain or Pioneer, the stuff they play on in the club. And so there's this gap in the middle which people don't really pay attention to. But there are some good solid products in that kind of $300 to $500 price range that will do a good job for you, and ultimately, you know, most DJs at some point in their setup will need a decent little mixer. So this is a great example, yeah, the 22i from Reloop. They do a 33 version as well, which has got a third channel on there as well, a full third channel. This one's got a switchable mic and aux channel, which you can run, you know, a line level input into, but you can't cue it or anything like that. So if you want that third channel, the 33 is the one for you. This has got a street price of around about $300, the 3-channel version about $400. So we're talking not a complete budget mixer, but we are talking mid-range, fairly affordable in terms of what we're getting. It's nicely built, you know, nice, good old school, retro, solid metal mixer. Nothing to complain about with the build quality. All the knobs are really rock solid. The faders are decent, you know, for what you're getting. You've got regular faders in there. They also do an option to replace that with a Innofader, a mini Innofader as well. I'll talk about that in a little while. But let's just give you an idea of how it all kind of sounds and so on. We've got instant effects. Now, the whole mixer is digital in terms of the actual signal processing. So that's why we've got the effects on there. We've got a gate, which kind of chops the sound up according to the input that's coming through. You can adjust that up and down. We've got the filter, which is what most people will leave it on. High pass and low pass combo. Is a little bit resonant down at the bottom end. I prefer it kind of tailed off a bit more towards the bottom, but nonetheless, it's a nice, you know, good effect that we all kind of use. You've got bit crusher. And white noise as well, so you can add that white noise, and you can also, because these are pre-fader, you can run that white noise on a channel that's not playing and then chop it up. You've got obviously Q for each channel. Crossfader reverse. You can't reverse the line faders, but you can reverse the crossfader. Crossfader curve adjustment from sharp to a smooth blend, and your up fader curve as well. You've got general sort of fade in the middle, and then you've got a cut off at the top, where it cuts off quickly near the top, and then where it cuts in fast near the bottom. They're not the tightest of cuts. If you want something in this kind of price range that's going to be a full-on turntablist weapon, look at the Thud Rumble TRX, which we looked at, you know, a few weeks ago. That's the one for that. This is a more all-rounder kind of thing, really. With the EQs, you've got the option to go between the classic kind of EQ curve, where it doesn't quite fully cut out, or the full kill, where it indeed does cut the entire signal out there. You've got obviously trim control on each channel as well. You've got VU meters for both decks and for the master as well, which is a nice touch. They're, you know, quite long, quite clear what's going on with those, which is always good to see, especially at the budget end of things. You've got Q, master, blend. There's no split Q on here, but you've got the option to blend between those, and obviously there's your mic/aux channel. Now, you might notice on each of these inputs up here, we've got basically mic and aux, phono and CD, and on each one we've also got iPad inputs as well. Now, to be honest, I'm not really bothered about that. I've tried using iPads in the booth in various ways. I've come down to the only really useful way to use an iPad in the booth is with Lima for, you know, video control, and Serato remote, pretty much. You know, I just, in terms of actually providing your music from an iPad, I've never found it to be a very satisfactory experience. It's okay if you do. Maybe for some beginners it'll be ideal, and in which case you can run a split cable from an iPad into both channels there and use that as your, you know, just as your music source, which is fine if you want to do that, but it's not for me. I don't think it'll be for many of our viewers out there. Any of you guys watching this, really, I'm pretty sure you won't be using an iPad in the booth anytime soon. But yeah, you've got the full complement of ins and outs. You've got a booth output as well as the regular master. The master's on XLR balanced output plus RCA phono connectors too. So all in all, you know, short and sweet really. This is a nice, simple mixer. It's well built, it's solid. This demo unit has been around all the trade shows with Reloop, so it's got battered and bruised, but it's still, you know, apart from a few chips on the corners where it's been really abused, it's looking good. And I've got no complaints about the build quality. The sound quality is nice, and it's digital, it's crisp and it's clean. No issues with loads of hiss or anything like that. We'll talk about the fader. Now, to be honest, when it turned up the stock fader, I was kind of happy with it, really. It's a nice sharp cut, it's a light feel. I don't know how long it's going to last if you abuse it scratching on a regular basis, but really, you know, it's a decent little fader. They do have the RMX Innofader, which is Reloop's kind of rebrand of the Innofader. You know, it's just their own custom version set up specially for their mixers in the RMX range, and that works really well. You can still do the adjustment on the bottom to actually switch it, you know, to move the cut in and so on. And I put that into this mixer. You know, it's a good investment. If you want that extra little bit of scratch goodness with the mixer, then yeah, definitely it's worth looking at. So there we go, the RMX-22i from Reloop. It's fundamentally a great value bit of kit. You know, it's well made, properly solid, and I say old school, and I hope you understand what I mean by that. It feels like an old school product from like the 90s, the early 2000s, where budgets weren't being cut and plastic wasn't all over the place. It's a nice metal case, just feels like a good solid 10-inch 2-channel mixer. The EQs are nice and musical, the sound quality is good, it's that digital clean sound. I would prefer an internal power supply rather than the external wall wart that you've got on there, but that's no biggie. And maybe the filter resonance curve, you know, might be tweaked a little bit. But other than that though, nothing really to complain about. You know, it does the business for mixing, for blending, for your bedroom setup, for a small bar or a small club setup. It'll do the job, it's got the balanced outputs. You know, fundamentally an overlooked product category, but I think this is a great example of a product within it. There you go. Thank you very much for watching today. Make sure you subscribe for all our future tips, tricks, and product reviews. I'll see you soon.